This is a big picture SEO / image strategy overview for Hydrarank. So let's take a look at this. We have the main Amazon page here. First thing I'm going to be looking at is, are you competitive in your category for your competitive search term? So if I were to guess what your top search term that was important to you is, it would be this because it's at the top of your title here. So I'm going to go ahead and check how you're ranking for half-gallon water bottle. And I am not immediately seeing Hydrarank. Let me see if I can get a... Actually, I probably should just name search it. Nope, it's not on page 1 for the targeted search term. So if I was in charge of the SEO here, I would probably say I want to target something different for a short period of time that I know I can rank well for. And then ultimately move on to half-gallon water bottle as my most important search phrase. Definitely still having it in the title, but maybe targeting something different at the beginning. So that's just a quick title idea. Looking at the larger set of competitors here, this one looks good to me. This one looks good to me. This one has 12,000 reviews versus 1,000. I think probably this is Amazon's choice right now because it's so much cheaper. It's like almost half the price. So probably if I were to look at this, I would think, oh, it's a lot lower quality. And I think the images communicate that. This is absolutely tiny text. I can't imagine trying to read this on mobile. This can give us some ideas for what to put in your listing images, but overall, I'm just kind of trying to understand what converts for these. So that converts because it's cheap. I think that we can say that pretty clearly. These guys, I've seen them a few times. They seem like they have the best imagery. Again, high quality main image, good photography is going to immediately communicate quality. And that seems like it's going to be really important here. It seems like the price point is competitive at $30.99. And again, you're $29.99. So I'm really surprised that I'm not seeing you ranked up here. It may just be that you're not being discovered in the right way. You're not targeting the right PPC. Overall, really not great imagery in this category. I'm really not impressed with the half-gallon water bottles. I think this company has great photography, but they've had their graphic design done by someone who doesn't know Amazon, and I know that because the text is so small. Again, this one looks like it was created by a completely different person. So it's just, this listing is really thrown together and it's not very cohesive. This is beautiful photography. So you can tell they hired a really good photographer, but then they didn't hire a graphic designer to like make it on brand. So looking at these, if I was selling a half-gallon water bottle, I think that I would want to call to that SEO. So probably my second image here is going to be just say half-gallon water bottle. And it's going to be a beautiful lifestyle image. And I know that you have some of these pastel images that you've had taken. So that's what I would do. I would just have my second image say half-gallon water bottle. And sometimes that can help conversion alone. Probably my third image would be this kind of features section. There's a lot of diaper bags that have these. I think they're helpful because probably my first question is like, how many pockets does it have? Does it sweat? What are there handles on it? Obviously, the main image has the handles, so we don't really need to know that. But pointing it out can be helpful. Again, the text is too small, so need to reform this image in a way where the text is more readable. What's in the box? I like that. I was noticing that this company had one of those too. So I don't know if that photography kind of calls back to that. But it's definitely, accomplishing what we want there, which is like, what do you get with all this? And it has a straw, etc. It has straps. It has the neoprene cover. So that's good. Probably the light, a little bit more lighting on this. You can see a stark contrast between this company here and this that's been done. It's too dark, so lightening it up a bit in the actual studio. So I would add labels for what's in the box. That would be my preference if you can. If you can get all of your um, stuff in the shot, and if you can fit the text in a reasonable size, that's what I would do. Another option would be to put it as more of a bundle, so frontal view rather than overhead. That's always an option. For this, I think it's going to be important to talk about insulation, because with water bottles, that can be a question. And not having read your listing, I don't know if there's insulation or if like it's supposed to keep your liquid hot or cold, but I would want to answer that question pretty quickly. Another notable thing is that there are no questions on this listing, so probably this copywriting is doing a good job. It's a little bit long for my taste, but if it's working for you, so I'd say stay with it. If you're not getting questions, that's a good sign. Again, there's some evidence that you're not getting high enough conversion, because, again, you're not ranking for your most targeted keyword. So that is a question mark for me, and I would just have to look at your listing metrics to understand why that might be. But noticing that this competitor does have a bunch of questions. So clearly people do need to know something about this. It may be that you're just answering the questions better, and so people don't have to ask them on the listing. Going back to listing images strategy, I was going to say we need to have someone next to the bottle so we can get an idea of bottle size. Someone drinking out of it would even be great. I think you have her. You don't. I was thinking you had her holding it without the sleeve on it. It would be nice to see someone holding it clear too. Um, Also, I would say showing this in really a workout setting. So you do have it posed in a gym, but I would say showing a lifestyle of someone holding it in a gym would be the best, because this is pretty much exclusively for people working out. I don't even think runners carry this large of a bottle. So it's really like weightlifters, it's really people in a gym. So you can just drill down as much as you want on that demographic, and I don't think you're going to be pigeonholing yourself. Also, I'm noticing women a lot here, so I'm curious if you know that your demographic is all women. That's kind of curious. I looked at some other water bottles that are not half gallons, and they're not doing the same thing. Hydro Flask, for example, shows a lot of men and women, and you can tell that they've done that on purpose. So I'm curious if you think that your main demographic is women. Um, Also noticing that Hydro Flask, their text is a bit bigger, it's easier to read, and I like to do a lot of icon images. So, the easy to clean, durable, leak proof, that should all be pretty standard with a water bottle. Um, you can also do a alternative use. So that would be, not only can you use this for water, you can use this for, around the house. You can hold iced tea in it. A lot of people do like giant things of soda that they get from 7-Eleven and stuff. And maybe that probably wouldn't be as good because your demographic is a gym demographic, but definitely coming up with an alternate use for this could give you an edge over your competition. Basically, just more inspiring ways to use the product. And I bet you could come up with inspiring ways to even use the handles. Like, there's probably an alternate way to use those handles to clip on something. Your listing is completely filled out. So I checked your image specs, your 1500 times 1500, which is exactly what I want to see, so that we have this magnification. Title looks good to me. Bullets are fully filled out. Don't know about your description because you have A+, but if the back end description is blank, you can put some stuff, some text in there to get some SEO value. And The colors are a little bit discordant for me. So we have like prints that wouldn't necessarily go with like pastel, kind of almost like Easter colors. Also, these don't feel like they go with the page, so I don't know if they were added later. But yeah, if we go with the pastel, I would want to stay really heavy on the pastel and not mix it up too much. And right now, I feel like it's kind of mixing it up a lot. Um, Also, your listing video is really well done, and I approve of having a video there. I think that it just improves your listing score. Curious what Helium 10 thinks you're doing wrong here, because what I've seen, your listing is pretty filled out. Main image is it doesn't think your main image is on a white background, maybe because you have this reflection, but it's actually wrong. So that one, it thinks it's 10 out of 10. So you can tell you've done some optimization work on the SEO side, and now you're mostly, I think, in the finishing stage where you really just want to create a beautiful brand. Curious if you have a storefront. Yep. So I like these. I've seen this done in a lot of categories. I've seen it done in protein bars and like IV hydration liquid, like the hydration powder. I've seen it done in makeup, so I really like that style, and I think it goes well with your photography. It's a little bit short here. You could be using this more like a landing page for your ads, depending on what ads you're running. But I definitely think this would be the time to optimize more for imagery. And I see a lot of companies doing that too early. So they haven't done this stuff, for example. They haven't filled out their bullet points. They're not clear on where their conversion is happening, what their demographic is, etc. So I definitely think this is the right time to be looking at that, especially right before January. We are heading into the big, like Peloton, workout brands time of year. So this is, we're winding down for the holiday season and ramping up for January 1st. So hope that's helpful.